السابعة عشر, the 17th benefit, ومنها جواز الأكل والشرب والجماع مع الشك في طلوع الفجر لقوله تعالى حتى يتبين فإن تبين أن أكله وشربه وجماعه كان بعد طلوع الفجر فلا شيء عليه. The clarification that it's permissible to eat, drink and have intercourse and you're doubtful if Fajr has come in or not. It's not clear to you. Now I'd like to take everyone a step away from the prayer schedules, because we've all become so accustomed to prayer schedules, and prayer schedules are a newly invented matter. Prayer schedules are something that is in this time only, right? The deen has been made easy for everyone. The Fajr, and the Shaykh will explain what the entrance of Fajr looks like in the next page actually. So I don't want to go there yet, but Allah has made for people a way to know the times of Salah by the naked eye in every situation, almost every situation. And for a situation where it's cloudy or there's bad weather and you can't see it, you estimate it and you worship Allah with that. There's nothing wrong with it. As we've seen with Salat, with fasting, with Siyam, and the entrance of Ramadan. Alright, there could be a moon up there, but it's cloudy, I don't know. We worship Allah by not fasting on the 30th of Sha'ban, Yawm al-Ghaym, when it's cloudy. Right? Because we need to see that crescent moon to say that Sha'ban has only 29 days and we'll begin fasting. We don't begin fasting based on, it's likely or ihtiyat or just to be safe, I'm going to fast. Similarly here, you are not required to refrain from eating and drinking until, as Allah says, حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمْ, until it is clear to you that the darkness of night has become distinguishable from the lightness of the day. Right? At that time you must refrain from eating and drinking. What this means is, like I said, take us away from the prayer schedules and the timetables and all these things, these imsakiyat and all of that. Take us away from this. That means you're looking at the horizon you have a clear view of the horizon and it's totally black. It's totally black. And then someone says it's Fajr time, because the schedule says it's Fajr time. And you'll find that many of these schedules, they put Fajr time up earlier before the entrance of Fajr. So what do? Do you refrain from eating at this time because of the prayer schedule? Or do you worship Allah with the religion that He gave you, kind of leading you to the answer, huh? Or do you worship Allah with the religion that He gave you and the Quran that He revealed to you? That كُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمْ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ. Right? Keep eating and keep drinking until the darkness of night becomes clear from the light of the day, meaning you see the first sign of the dawn. The Shaykh says that it's permissible to keep eating, drinking and having intercourse even while there is some doubt. You think maybe Fajr came in, but you haven't heard a mu'adhin, but you haven't seen any light on the dawn, but you sort of say like, it should be time by now. Whether you're thinking about the clock or whether you just have a feeling, you just have this doubt that perhaps Fajr has already entered. What's the ruling in this case? The ruling is eat, drink and have intercourse until it is clear to you. The tabayyun is clear. Now check out what the Shaykh is going to say here. He says, because of the statement of Allah the Most High, حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّن, until it is clear to you. Right? فَإِن تَبَيَّن أَنَّ أَكْلَهُ, I read that already in Arabic. If he understands that he was actually eating after Fajr was in, but he couldn't see the Fajr. Right? But there was no tabayyun with him. It wasn't clear to him that Fajr came in. Then the Shaykh says there's nothing on him. No problem. Right? He says, فَلَا شَيْءَ عَلَيْهِ, no problem. No sin on him, no requirement to make it up. Because he has fulfilled the order of Allah. He kept eating and drinking and having intercourse until it was clear to him. Once it became clear to him, that's the beginning of the fast for him. Right? And people want to say, well, there is a real time when the Fajr became available, based on calculations and the movement of the sun and the daily sunrise and all these timetables that the people invent. I said it's a newly invented matter, and by that I meant it's a dunya matter. I didn't mean it's bid'ah in the religion and it's haram, but what I meant is it's a newly invented matter. It's also, as the scholars have called it, juhd bashari. It's a human effort. It's subject to human mistakes. Even if you say, but these are highly qualified, maybe boards of astronomers have come together to produce one schedule. People all over the world are still reporting problems with these schedules. That they don't match up at certain times of the year, Brothers from the UK, you know about what the brothers have been saying in the UK? There's quite a difference in some places in the UK alone between the time of Fajr, the difference of an hour, not 5 minutes or 6 minutes. An hour's difference. They're saying the Fajr was coming in, they could see the light of the Fajr, the real broad light of the Fajr, an hour before the prayer schedule said it came in. 1 whole hour. And sometimes you find it's the opposite. The prayer schedule tells you to stop eating and drinking way before the light ever appears. So the prayer schedules are guides, they're human efforts, they cannot be taken as revelation. You cannot believe you're implementing like you're implementing the Quran when you implement the prayer schedule. You can't enforce it with amr and nahi, but ordering and forbidding. When people are standing there looking at the horizon, they see no light, you cannot order these people to stop eating. Because you have a timetable and it says, 4:23 or something like that. And it's 4:23, pitch black. Right? We worship Allah with the Book of Allah. We can use this as a guide if we don't have any other indications. Perhaps you're in a building and you have no windows, you have no access to the horizon. The horizon is covered by buildings. In these cases, the ulama say you can use the prayer schedules as a general guide because you have nothing better to go with. But not as the asal, not as the basic thing that you use in your religion. Right? Use it as a guide, as a help, but not as the legislated time to begin fasting. Right? The Shaykh is going to talk about the harms that are built on people following schedules that don't actually match up to what's going on in the sky. It's coming up in the next few benefits if we get to it today. If we get to it. الثامنة عشر, the 18th point of benefit. I want to add to the 17th one brief point. The opposite is true for Maghrib. If you make a mistake in calculating Maghrib, right, and you start eating because you assume that the sun set, let's say it's really cloudy, and you're not going with the timetables or anything, you're just looking at the sky, you believe the sun must have set because it's really dark, right? It's so cloudy, you have no gap in the clouds to see anything. We don't see that a lot here, but totally cloudy and we have no way to really see the sun. So you make an estimation and you say, it seems like it's really dark, so I'm going to eat, and you break your fast. Then the clouds move away and the sun is still out. What happens here? In this case, you have to make this day up because you've eaten during the day in Ramadan. And it's not like the Fajr, because the Fajr, the base rule was you eat and you drink until something happens. But now on the other side of the day, the base rule is you don't eat and you don't drink, right? Until the sun sets. So here, going back to the base rule of not eating, you violated the base rule. Whereas before Fajr, eating and drinking, and let's say you found out that according to the prayer schedule it was 10 minutes ago and the mu'adhin was late or something, and you had no vision, you had no view of the horizon, so you had no tabayyun, you had no clarity that Fajr had entered, then, as the ulama say, it's not a problem. Because your ruling was to continue eating and drinking. That's your base rule to go back to until you know of something that would change the ruling. But on the other end of Maghrib, the base ruling is you don't eat and you don't drink until clarity comes to you that the sun has set.